Guys, the Super Review Show here for another editorial video. I've been doing a couple of these recently, but I figured this one actually holds a lot of weight to me personally, and I really want to share my love of this topic and this type of format of film in particular. This is the evolution of the movie trailer. Now, for those of you who may remember a while back, I think it was back in January of this year, we did a mixed bag show called our top 10 movie trailers. I'm not really going to do a top 10 list, but as most of you may or may not know, I'm a huge trailer guy. There are some days where I'm sitting down here in the J Cave, and I'm personally like, all right, look, we're going to do, I'm going to sit down all day on a day off and just watch movie trailers, literally from the 20s up until the 2020s. I kid you not. I'm a huge trailer nut. I think they're 2-minute little pieces of art, and I want to make a video today about the evolution of them and how they went from these different styles of trailers back on the 50s, 60s, 70s to what we have today now where they incorporate certain songs into trailers. I want to just break it down a little bit for you just right here, right now on the Super Review Show. So let me just start by saying this. The trailer, the reason why it's called a trailer is because they used to show trailers after the movie. So instead of saying, so people would stay way back when, they would stay through the credits and they would watch, oh, this movie's coming out, this movie's coming out, this movie's coming out. And they would stay, that's why it's called the trailer, because it was after the movie. Fun fact. That's the first thing. Second thing is, as time has gone on, the past 100 years of movie trailers, it's really interesting to see. Like, I'll leave a link for this in the description below. It's a YouTube playlist I made about literally what I'm talking about. I've made a movie trailer consisting of about like 600, 700 trailers. That's 600 or 700 movies of their trailers in this playlist. I love it. I watch it a lot. When I was homesick several months ago, I want to say back in like December, January, I forget. I would sit down all day and just watch trailers. Why? Because to me, like I said, they're little 2-minute pieces of art. You got to get excited for the movie. And some of the ones that I was watching from the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s still get me excited for those movies. Even though the movies came out 30, 40, 50, 60 years ago. It's pretty cool. But one of the things I've noticed as I watch it, because I'm one of those people who it's like an idiosyncrasy. I'm like, I want to put the movie trailers in year format. So in the description of this video, there is a link to the playlist, and it literally is in year format from 1927 with Metropolis, I believe, to like Gone with the Wind or Scarface from 1932 up until today. It's literally from like in order. And if you are looking to just kill a whole day worth of time, watch some movie trailers. Why not? And one of the things I've noticed is over time, the movie trailers have gotten shorter to an extent. Yes, nowadays, and we get to like today in a little bit. But movie trailers back then, Gone with the Wind, the trailer is like 3 minutes and 10 seconds long, 3 minutes and 20 seconds long. Wizard of Oz, same thing. That era of film, the late 30s into the 40s, with like Citizen Kane, and it really just, it was, they were really like, you know, the score was from the movies. They didn't include any popular songs. Like there was no Frank Sinatra songs, there was no Dean Martin songs in those trailers. That's a very modern thing to do. Past like 30, 40 years, they've been doing that. But as far as like movie trailers back then go, they were a little bit longer. They showed a little bit more of the story, and it said like, you know, starring blah, 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 and starring blah, blah, blah. Come see it at the theater near you. You know what I mean? Then you get into the 50s, and the cultural revolution of the 50s and 60s, including like the entire time period of the 1960s, really. Movie trailers started to evolve just the way humanity started to evolve too in American society. So one of the trailers that I brought up during that time period was of Psycho. Just a couple examples. Psycho, 2001: A Space Odyssey, and To Kill a Mockingbird. I bring up those three trailers in particular. Let's start with To Kill a Mockingbird for a second. To Kill a Mockingbird in 1962, the trailer has no background music at all. You can go back and look at that trailer, and there is no background music. There's no songs, there's no score, there's no other sound behind it, and it's like a 3-minute trailer. That's something that stood out to me. That's why I put in my top 10 movie trailers list back then. Another example I just said was Psycho. The Psycho movie trailer was 6 minutes long of just Alfred Hitchcock going like, "This is why you should go and watch our movie today. It's a really fun psychotic thriller, whatever." And then he goes on site of the ranch, the house from the movie Psycho, and he talks about, he goes in depth like how what do you call it? The murder is here, and then the very end of the trailer is him with the shower scene, and then it's like Jane Lee's, not Jane Lee's, Janet Leigh, I think that's her name. She's like, "Ah!" And they're like, and that trailer is creepy. It's kind of like a lighthearted, like, oh, he's watching his Alfred Hitchcock's on site, but the moment you get to like the score of the trailer is what got me. So you have, literally within a 2-year time span, a trailer that had no music and a trailer that was really long and had different orchestral scores in it. Then let's talk about 2001: A Space Odyssey for a second. One of my favorite films of all time. 2001: A Space Odyssey's trailer has no dialogue whatsoever in the trailer. The trailer is literally just like, oh, the best motion. It doesn't even say anything. It's just the stuff. That whole score thing. It's a really cool thing. And there's no dialogue. There's no words in it whatsoever. There's no spoken words in the trailer at all. And I love that. I love that. It's just so fascinating to me how like the trailer evolved over the course of one decade, from 1960 to 68 when that movie came in, 2001. The movie 2001 came out in 68, as I said. Then you get into like the 70s, and you had Jaws, which the trailer for Jaws, I mean, they show the shark in the trailer, so that ties into another thing about it. Do trailers give away too much? Personally, I don't. Some do, some don't. It just depends on what the movie is and how big the movie is, how successful it is. Like, let's say, like an example, Jaws, right? Jaws is coming out of theaters. Oh, cool. I've never seen it, right? Back in 75. Like, oh, this movie Jaws is coming out. Like, see it before you go swimming. They show the shark in the trailer, but not a lot, just in the water, though. Not like when it was attacking the boat and stuff like that. That's actually really... That might have shown too much, whereas I feel like if they didn't show the shark and just heard the doo-doo, 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 if they had the score instead of just the... the score, they didn't show the shark at all, that might have worked out better. Bill brought up that point at one point on our Mixed Bag show, but I still like the trailer for what it was. I thought it was pretty good. One of my top 10. Towards the mid to late 80s, you hear more popular music songs like "In Your Eyes" by Peter Gabriel in the "Say Anything" trailer, or you want to go into like the 90s with like the Layla piano outro in the Goodfellas trailer. Towards the mid to late 80s and up until now too, they've used popular hit music songs or just songs that fit the film in general, where the song fits the music that was composed for the artist. Like Layla was by Derek and the Dynamos with Eric Clapton in it. Eric Clapton, the piano outro fit the Goodfellas trailer perfectly. I love that trailer to death. It is such a good piece of art too. I could watch that thing forever. I really could. But if the music fit the trailer, and I feel like that's been a modern trend. Like if you go to the movies today, there's a movie coming out with George Clooney actually and Julia Roberts coming out. I forget the name of the movie, but in the trailer I'm like, oh my god, they're playing Dua Lipa's "Don't Start Now" whatever. I'm like, okay, cool. That started in the mid to late 80s into the 90s with like certain movies like, Say Anything. It started with like Full Metal Jacket with Paint It Black by the Rolling Stones. So movie trailers have evolved for a long time. And I really do believe, I strongly believe from the bottom of my heart that movie trailers will continue to evolve. Like, for instance, one of the things I've noticed nowadays is like I think it started like 2013, 14. One of the first times I noticed it was when I think it was either The Dark Knight Rises or X-Men Days of Future Past was coming out. And they had like the score from Sunshine, like the dramatic score and the piano drop a little bit. They used a lot in movie trailers, that one score in particular, but it fit perfectly. Bryan Singer of X-Men Days of Future Past did a great job of using that score and fitting that first trailer for X-Men Days of Future Past, and the movie was freaking awesome. So moving forward, you notice how like the Jurassic World trailer, the Avengers Age of Ultron trailer, they had like a soft, like light piano. of the score of the movie, like do 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 do, but it's really slow and it's just high notes. That's become a modern thing now, where they just have like a light piano drop in the trailer, and it's like just a high, like, almost like the Halloween trailer with like the dun, 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 that kind of thing, but with just solid notes hitting that certain part of the trailer. So, long story short, trailers have evolved over the past 100 years of film. Everything from like literally from the 40s to the 50s. I hate plugging my own playlist, but if you watch the movie trailers from the playlist I made, it's in the description of this video, so you guys can check it out. If you watch that and you just watch it, like, just, this sounds really stupid, but if you're homesick one day and you can't go to work, put this on your YouTube TV, and eventually the ads will stop running, actually. And I find that because if you watch them enough all day, the ads will just stop running. You can just watch the rest of it for the whole day. You start it, pick an era and go. And you can see the evolution of the movie trailer. It's a really interesting thing to see as you're watching from like the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, the 2000s, the 2010s, 2020s. It's really a cool thing to watch how the trailer evolved over time. So, bottom line, movie trailers have evolved and will continue to evolve as time progresses. I mean, I'm only 23 years old. I've studied the movie trailer a little bit on my own time. And this is something that I wanted to talk about for a while on an editorial video. And I just want to thank you for watching this video so much. So like, comment, subscribe, whatever you're going to do. Is there a movie trailer that stands out to you personally? Jump down in the comment section below. Share this video with all your friends. Follow us on social media. And don't forget to hit the bell for notifications. But for all of your editorial videos and many more, keep it locked on the Super Review Show. The J-Man is off to rock. Keep watching those trailers.